700 fender benders reported in a 3-day period.
There's our way in. Now move.
Perimeter is hot.
Dylan, what's that guy's name again? Bristow?
Okay, people, here's the situation. We've got unknown terrorists, well-armed, with no demands, and 7 hostages being held in the building's atrium. We can't drop you on the roof because they've got men with RPGs waiting. We can't go in on the ground because they've laid proximity mines.
30
So
seconds.
we're using the hotel across the street as cover for the chopper. Bryce, Loisel, you're gonna sit tight. Weber, cover Chavez. Domingo, you get to do the fun part.
We've got company. I'll take care of him. Cover me. There goes down. Blow the vault. Roof is clear. Team, move into position.
Gentlemen, they're all yours.
On my mark. Go.
I've got them. Clear out.
RPG!
Get that chopper out of there.
He's firing! RPG is away.
Pilot, move!
Hostage secure.
Okay, Domingo. Before I can put your team back on operational status, I need you to complete a test mission. The setting is the training warehouse, except this time, we've added a new element to the mix. You and your team will need to work closely to secure the 2 hostages we've placed in the scenario. You can expect moderate resistance. Show me what you've got. Nicely done. It's good to have your team back and fully operational. Just in time, too. We're going to need you in the next few months. Terrorists have started hitting Venezuelan targets worldwide. And while we haven't been requested yet, I have a feeling that's about to change. Throw in the fact that the dispute between the US and OPEC is escalating daily, and I think it's safe to say there will be work for your team very soon.
The attack in Boston was only one of several coordinated terrorist strikes against Venezuelan interests. Dr. Prince, what can you tell us about this most recent incident?
I think you can say that what we saw in Boston was an objection to Venezuela's foreign policy.
Was this related to OPEC's decision to impose an oil embargo against the U.S.?
Well, as you know, Venezuela is now the only OPEC member exporting oil to the United States. It's a very tense situation.
The Prime Minister has just arrived at the G8 summit in Gstaad, as has the President of Venezuela, here to discuss his nation's role in the present oil crisis. Talk of terrorism may also be on the agenda.
Here's the situation. We have 2 hostages inside the compound and an unknown number of terrorists. They're demanding $20 million and an end to the oil sales to the U.S. Both captives are members of the Venezuelan delegation, though President Ruiz is not on the list.
What about the other delegates?
Everyone else was let go as soon as the Swiss authorities showed up. The bad guys aren't budging on the Venezuelans, though, and that's why we're here. The situation's too hot for the locals to handle. Nice work, people. Unfortunately, we're not done yet. Some of the terrorists cut and ran before we arrived, and we're working cleanup. Fortunately, we know exactly where they are. They wiped out in a highway tunnel 20 clicks south of here, and barricaded themselves behind an overturned fuel truck. They've also pulled a couple of hostages out of stopped cars. This one's a rush job, gentlemen, so go get them.
It is my great honor to introduce the man whose generosity we celebrate today, Juan Crespo.
Thank you. This small contribution will benefit generations to come and enrich our lives. Now and always, I hope to do whatever I can for my beloved country.
In recent weeks, Venezuela has become America's primary petroleum supplier. In response to fears that Venezuelan supertankers may become terrorist targets, U.S. warships are now escorting every vessel carrying petroleum from that nation's refineries.
That little slice of paradise down there is Curaçao. It's the site of one of the world's largest oil refineries, operated by the Venezuelan National Oil Company.
What's the situation?
We've got an unknown number of hostiles in control of the refinery complex. They've got a hostage, and they've rigged the entire site with explosives. Now they're threatening to level the refinery.
Very messy.
Very lethal, too, but you knew that.
We will not give in to terror. We will resist. Starting today, the sale of oil to the U.S. will cease, as those profits cannot buy back our citizens' lives. And in my next term in office...
So tell me, Emilio, how goes the campaign?
Soon, he will formally declare he is running. And when the election comes, he will win.
The people are unhappy with Ruiz?
My people do not like to think of themselves as cowards.
He will make a fine president.
I have brought you some of his campaign materials. Feel free to help us distribute them.
Welcome to Venezuela, gentlemen. Several hours ago, a large band of terrorists infiltrated the shipyard in Puerto Cabello. Their profile indicates that this may be the same group we've been dealing with since Boston.
Any hostages?
Intel confirms we're in the clear there. The terrorists have wired the entire facility to blow. They want 50 million, or they pull the trigger. I'd rather you went in to negotiate with them personally.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, I stand before you in a time when terror serves as currency in the laws of international diplomacy. It is the responsibility of all who love freedom to fight against such tactics. To the men who perpetrated the acts of terror on American soil and who strike against the people of our sister nation, Venezuela, I call you cowards. If these events continue, the American people will respond swiftly and forcefully.
Gentlemen, terrorists have occupied the Crespo Children's Foundation office in Montreal, Canada. Crespo's been making a lot of noise in Venezuelan politics about getting the oil flowing back to America. His people are behind him. The terrorists want him dead.
The Montreal office? It has nothing to do with oil.
Crespo was due there for a monthly board meeting. However, his flight was delayed and the bad guys missed him. They've taken other hostages instead and want to make a trade for the man himself. This is not an option. You're here to pick up a delicate package. The cargo is Nusrat Ahmad, a Saudi national who feeds us useful intel while holding connections with several potentially active terrorist cells. This is the man who clued us into the Boston operation.
Remind me to thank him.
You'll get a chance to do it personally. His last communique indicated that his cover had been blown. We need to extract him before someone closes his file permanently.
This way! Go, go, go! Search the entire place! They must be close. We will find them!
No way to get in touch with them, Six.
Sorry to throw you right back into the fire, but Loisel and Weber are in trouble in Trieste, and you're the closest backup we've got. They've gone to ground, but there are a lot of tangos on the street looking for them, and they can't hide forever.
Despite its image, Alcatraz was actually a prison for only 30-odd years. It got shut down in 1963.
And how is it that such a perfect holding tank for evil men now only traps tourists?
More evil men. Politicians felt it was too expensive to run.
Sometimes money is not as important as what one can accomplish with it.
They missed Crespo in Montreal, but they got him in San Francisco. The man who's probably going to be the next president of Venezuela is now a hostage on U.S. soil, and Washington is very nervous.
Charles, how do things look from where you're standing?
We've been told that this military exercise was planned months in advance. The number of surveillance aircraft flying sorties has been increasing, though. And some of those flights come close to Saudi airspace.
Do you feel there's any connection between the president's comments and what you're seeing?
The president is concerned about Riyadh's ability to get tough with Saudi-based terror groups. He's sending a message. Either the Saudis remove terror from their soil, or the U.S. will step in and do it for them.
Emilio Vargas has worked behind the scenes on Team Crespo for 12 years, but it looks like he's been moonlighting. Information provided by Amman tied him to the bank papers stolen in Boston. Intel followed up and found links to possible terrorist slush funds as well, but we don't have anything solid yet. Domingo, I need you to find me a smoking gun.
My countrymen, the eyes of the world have turned to our nation, and what they see has made me so proud. You have called for an end to fear. Today, we will step out from the shadow of terror and into the warm light of freedom.
Nice work, but you opened up a whole new can of worms. The chemicals you found are components for VX nerve gas.
I liked them better when they were just blowing up shipyards.
So did I. Nothing we've seen indicates that Vargas wants mass slaughter. And again, Vargas has been hard to find since the election. Domingo, it's time you paid him a house call.
And in a surprising move, newly elected Venezuelan President Juan Crespo has called an emergency OPEC meeting. In the wake of Crespo's stated refusal to go along with OPEC policy, many skeptics are wondering why.
Greetings, my old friend.
And congratulations to the next great leader of Venezuela, and OPEC's new favorite son.
From the moment I arrived, I have felt a deep concern for the plight of your people. The policies of the United States cannot be supported.
An incredible humanitarian effort.
And a sensational opportunity for us to make billions.
From the moment your plane landed, the price of oil began to rise.
And the black market is anxiously awaiting Venezuela's output. How goes the rest of your plan?
Your associate reports he will be arriving in Louisiana shortly. Then we shall see what a true oil panic looks like.
According to the accountant pulled out of Vargas's penthouse, we've been chasing the wrong man. Crespo's going to put most of Venezuela's oil production on the international black market and skim the profit for himself. We still don't know where the VX fits in. That's not good. "4 hours ago, a cargo ship docked in New Orleans. Customs went over the boat with a fine-tooth comb, but didn't find anything. They did, however, take these photos. That's Vargas, and if he's in the U.S., something big is about to go down. Go get him.
That was fast.
Sometimes we get lucky. Vargas didn't even wait for us to offer a deal.
Anything good?
Good intel? Bad news. Crespo's aligned himself with a Saudi dissident who wants to prod the U.S. into war. They're real bosom buddies. Crespo cuts off the oil, while the Saudi hits the U.S. with terror operations. Crespo makes billions selling oil to the U.S. through a third party at the higher price, and the Saudi waits until a U.S. assault enables him to make his play for power while the bombs are falling. And then they come out on top, just in time to get rebuilt. Suit your team up. We found the VX. It's at Mardi Gras. Gentlemen, we now have only one piece of unfinished business. Juan Crespo. Officially, he's still the president of Venezuela. Unofficially, he's been disavowed. Caracas has requested we resolve the situation quietly. Also, intel estimates he's still got the last of the VX with him. We need to find him, and we need to make sure he never gets the chance to use that gas. Think about what that means. And in the meantime, the President has something to say about your work.
Today, brave men prevented a brazen act of terrorism. This planned attack was part of an effort to strain relations between the United States and the people of Saudi Arabia. Let it be known that the United States will not be manipulated by terror, nor goaded into war. In response, representatives of the Saudi government pledged to hunt down terrorists within their own borders and have asked OPEC to reconsider the oil embargo.
Crespo's been located, and according to intel, he's got a last reservoir of VX with him. It's in solution for transport, but that just means it's not immediately dangerous. Facts of the matter are that Crespo and the VX both need to be dealt with. At this point, it doesn't look like arresting him is an option. He's going to be trying to escape in a small aircraft from a private field outside Caracas. Domingo, I'm sending just you in. Don't let him or that nerve gas get away. It's over. Be proud. Be damn proud. You did good work. Better than anyone will ever know. Remember that, and hold your head high. The world owes you one.
We have lost a truly great man, Juan Crespo. He died for what he often referred to as his heart, the nation of Venezuela. Now he is a martyr to the very terror he fought. May he be its final victim.